Today in our 2010 BMW X3, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Curt Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver. So here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have it installed. All we're going to see is the receiver tube sticking out because the cross tube is going to be hidden nicely behind the bumper. Our hitch is a Class 3, which means it's going to give us a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening. We're going to have a lot of different options when it comes to accessories that we're going to mount up. Now whenever we want to use our hitch, we can take the lower panel here, we'll just reach underneath and we can take it off, and that'll give us access to our hitch pin holes so we can mount the accessories. Our hitch is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now these are not included in the kit, but you can pick them up here at etrailer.com along with some locking devices to keep your accessories secure. As far as the safety chain connection points go, it's going to be a loop style welded to the bottom, and you can see we'll have plenty of room to get most size hooks on or off. As far as weight capacity goes, our hitch is going to have a 350-pound tongue weight, which is the maximum downward force of the receiver tube, along with a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's the amount it can pull, including the trailer and everything we have loaded on it. Our hitch is also rated for use with weight distribution systems, and that's going to bump the tongue weight up to 400 pounds and the gross trailer weight up to 4,000 pounds. Now with all those numbers in mind, you want to double check your vehicle's owner's manual and never exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. I'd like to give a few measurements, and that's going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your new hitch, like a ball mount, a bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper, you're right about 3 3/4 inches. That measurement's going to come in handy when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough room and that they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. And from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, you're right about 16 inches. That measurement's going to help you out when you're looking for a ball mount so you can find the appropriate riser drop to match up to your trailer. So now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin our installation, we're going to come to the rear tire, and right on the back side of our wheel well liner, we're going to have a few fasteners we're going to have to pull out. There's going to be one at the very bottom here. We'll have another one on the back side. It's going to be about halfway up the tire. So we're going to grab a 7mm socket and we can pull those bolts out. And if we look straight back, on the inside edge behind the tire, we're going to have a plastic nut right here. So you're going to want to grab a 10mm socket and pull that out as well. And we're going to repeat that same process on the other side. With those fasteners removed, we're going to pull our wheel well liner back so we can get access behind it. And just push it out of the way for now. And if we look inside, we should have one bolt that's going up, attaching our fascia to the fender, and then if we look inside a little bit further, we'll have another bolt that's going towards the back, and they're both going to be Torx bolts, so we can grab a T25 Torx bit and we're going to pull out those 2 screws. Now at the very bottom of the wheel well, we'll have another bolt that's holding it in place, so we want to grab an 8mm socket and pull that out as well. And we're going to repeat that same process on the other side. Then we'll move to the back and we'll come to the very bottom center section. We're going to have this cut out, and if we just grab the bottom, lift up and away, we can pull that center piece out. And we'll set it aside for right now. And if we move just to the outside towards the driver's side, we'll have this plastic support piece right by our muffler. And we'll have a bolt holding everything in place. We want to pull that out. So again, 8mm socket, we'll remove that bolt. Now we move over to the passenger side, we'll have another one of those supports, but it's going to be on the bottom, and we're going to have a 10mm plastic nut holding it in place. Grab a 10mm socket and pull that out. So now we need to open up our rear hatch. We're going to have this plastic trim piece that's going in between the hatch opening and the fascia. So we're going to start at the corner and we're going to slowly pull this away, just working our way across until we can pull that entire piece off. And we'll set this piece aside. Well, underneath that panel, we're going to have a total of 4 screws going along the back edge. So we'll take our T25 Torx bit and we'll pull all 4 of those out. Now it's a good idea to grab an extra set of hands because we're going to start to pull the fascia off. We'll start at the corner where the fender meets the fascia and slowly start pulling it away until we start working our way towards the center. Now the driver's side, there is going to be one plug. It's going to be at the very corner. You just want to press in on that tab, pull down, and make sure you disconnect the clip from the wire so we can put the fascia aside. The fascia out of the way, it'll expose our metal bumper beam, and it's going to be held on by a total of 4 nuts, 2 on each side. We'll grab an 18mm socket, and we're going to pull all 4 of those out. Then we'll pull our bumper beam off, and we're going to put this aside, and it's not going to get reinstalled because our hitch is going to replace it. Okay. We can grab our hitch now, and the 2 holes are going to line up with the studs for our bumper beam. So we'll slide it in position, make sure it's nice and secure, and we'll secure it down with a couple of flange nuts. And make sure you get at least one of them started on each side, that way we don't have to worry about it falling off. We'll come back with that same 18mm socket and snug up all our hardware. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to torque all my hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. And you want to make sure you go back and repeat that for all your remaining hardware. At the bottom of the fascia, we are going to have to do some trimming in order for everything to go back in place. So if we come in that inner section here that's in the center, we're going to want to trim out the lower portion of it. So I'm going to use a rotary tool. I'm just going to make those cuts right along the edges. And we're going to flip it over. We're going to do a little bit of trimming on the inside of the fascia as well. Now the area that we need to trim on the rear side of our fascia is going to be towards the driver's side, and it's going to be this really large square section. Basically what you're going to want to do is you come to the mounting hole here. You want to make sure you keep that, but we're going to draw a line going across until we get to about this edge, and we're going to take out this section here. Again, I'm going to be using a rotary tool. You just want to take your time so we don't cut too much. Now the next set of hands, we'll put our fascia back into place and make sure everything fits properly. And with the hitch all torqued down, we can see that the cover's not going to go back in place unless we trim it. So we can leave it off, or we can follow the diagram and the instructions and cut that piece out. I'm going to be using a rotary tool, but whenever you're cutting this, it's always a good idea to cut a little bit less, test fit it, and then we can go back and cut more if necessary. Now you can see that it's going to fit around our hitch. That'll finish up your look at the Curt Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2010 BMW X3.